Monday. Somehow we made it. Because it snowed. Oh my god, how it snowed. It started in the wee hours of the morning on Sunday. And due to a previous family commitment, I had to drive in that stuff. And there's nothing more disconcerting than being the only car on the highway. Especially when your car is a little lower to the ground and not an SUV, not a truck, not something with all-wheel tires. All-wheel tires? All-season tires. Actually, you can consider my tires all-season, but they're not winter tires for sure. Not good driving conditions. On the plus side, the buffet was practically empty. So there was no waiting in line for brunch because there were few people foolish enough to be driving in that weather. It's about half capacity. There are plenty of Minnesotans foolish enough to drive in that weather. But this was the first big one of the year, and really the largest one in about 2 years. Last year, Minneapolis only got about 22 inches of snow, and I believe we topped out by the time the event was done last night, or this morning, 14 inches. Woof. When I'm out to do my official measurement, which I did tweet, by the way, if you saw it on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. It was about 12 1/4 inches. So, not too much more after I shoveled. And if it was a full 2 inches on there, better 2 inches than a foot. That first shoveling of the year is when you're at your most perfectionist and anal. You're like, I'm going to clear all the snow off. I'm going to have nothing but bare cement. And then as the winter goes on, you kind of like just half-ass it more and more. This wasn't actually the first snow of the year. There was an inch earlier, but the next day it was sunny and it all kind of evaporated and disappeared because the ground was still warm. So this was the first one we had to actually do something about. And by the time I went out to snow, by the time I went out to shovel, it was about 7 p.m. I was trying to do it in the break between the end of the red zone and the beginning of the Packers game. That sort of worked. I ended up about a half hour behind, but hit rewind on the DVR. Skipped a lot of ads, thank goodness. Some of those ads. I mean, I didn't have to see them all day because I was watching Red Zone or taking a nap through Red Zone. So why bother with the national game, right? I had caught up by halftime though. Just around halftime was when I live caught up. And then the problem with that is you find yourself hitting fast forward for live commercials, and the fast forward button doesn't work. Again, I would get that uneasy feeling during the Packers game because they were down by 14, first of all. And it just seems like not quite, not going, and then Mason Crosby missed another field goal, but even though there was a lot of weather and snow and wind and stuff. But it came out okay. They do enough to win. And I should just be happy with that. I should be happy with wins. Why aren't I happier? Packers are alone in first place. 9-4, 9-5? I believe they're 9-5. One game up on the Bears, and holding the tiebreaker on the Bears. They play the Bears again next week. Hopefully they'll win again. If they don't, I don't know what happens because they'll be 1-1, and they'll be tied. I believe as of right now the Packers have a better next tie-breaking record. Was it division or conference? It's division. Right now they're undefeated in the division. The Bears have lost, I believe, a couple. Thank you, Vikings. Hard to believe the Vikings won because they're still pretty awful. And Ponder's still pretty awful. But they get the interceptions, and that Adrian Peterson guy is something special. We finish this. Or maybe not. 2 full servings of vegetables. Can't beat that with a stick. Monday, 6:08 p.m. It is freezing. After it stopped snowing, the temperatures dropped like a rock, and the heavy winds didn't help. It's currently 10 degrees. Hard to believe it made it out of single digits. Earlier today, it was 8. The weather bug says it hit 19 today. I'm not sure I believe that. All I know is it's friggin' cold. And not a good day for short sleeves. And yet, here I am in short sleeves. This is the 1994 shirt. Where's the 94? I believe it's right there. It is. Can you see it? Zoom in on that, would you? Actually, it looks more broken than it looks like it says 1954. But it is the 1994 shirt. In fact, I got another one in the P.O. box today, I think. It's in the car and I didn't open it. I should have brought it. I could have showed it to you. Oh well. I'll probably wear it soon, if it's the year I think it is. Actually, I might have to skip some years if you want to see them here on videos, because there are only about a week's worth left. I think it's 5 or 6 videos before I disappear for the year. Whew, thank goodness. And who knows if I'll come back next year. That's still a maybe. And a maybe not. Let's go to the W and take care of the Greg and Doug show, where I saw there were some comments for me to answer. And hopefully I've given myself enough time to tackle them. Greg says, in regards to having to go back home to fetch your ticket to the game, last week I forgot and had to go home and get it. Why don't you just have them at the office? Most of the time you're going to the game from there, correct? No. There are a lot of weekend games. Not a lot, but there are enough that I don't want to bring them here. I feel more secure with those valuable tickets at home than lost in this office, where things could disappear, although they generally do not. But those are valuable things, and I wouldn't want to leave them by themselves except in the house. Doug adds, if I forget my Rangers tickets, I can have them emailed to me. Hey, where's my Rangers thing? Since I won't have a chance to show it to you any other time. This is from Jane and Dolly. Actually, Kim went to this viewing party. So, she went with Jane and Dolly. So it's actually from Kim. But believe in blue. Won't you? I believe there won't be any hockey. Well, we'll see. I can have them emailed to me. Surprised the Timberwolves don't have that option. They have probably that option. The problem is that every time I forget my tickets, it's about an hour to game time, and there's no staff available to help me with that stuff. So, I live real close to downtown, 3 or 4 miles. It's not a big deal. It wasn't a big enough deal. Where you really get into trouble, and this is where I got bit last week and forgot to tell you. Coming downtown, Minneapolis has a holiday tradition called Holidazzle, and it's a parade. And it's filled with bright colored floats and lots of lights and songs and things for the children. And it also completely bisects downtown, and if you're on the wrong side of it, you gotta wait for Santa before you can move. So getting my ticket made me just late enough that I had to sit there and wait. And I was about 2.5 blocks back. I mean, they're tall floats, so you can kind of see them going by. And I did see Santa. So that's good. Santa is always the last float. So if you saw me make that random tweet about Santa, that's what that was. It was me in traffic waiting for 7th Street to open up so I could cross Nicollet Mall and park at the Macy's ramp. The other downside, and I got bit by this last Friday, most recent Friday, all the people who come to downtown, who are not normally in downtown, to see Holidazzle, end up taking every spot in my ramp. And the full sign lights up. Very rare when that happens, but if you're not there soon enough, you get caught. And I ended up having to go not only to the next ramp over, but the next ramp over. The good news is that ramp actually has a discount for season ticket holders. You get $1 off the $5 parking fee. Well, ain't chump change. But it also allowed us a lovely tour of the scenic skyways of Minneapolis, and then we decided to go to sushi restaurant, so that was cool. Colored lights or white lights? Colored, thank you. Plus, you got to be like real anal retentive about it, and always have them in the exact same order every time. So God forbid you lose one color and you run out of replacements in that color. However, I haven't done lights for a while. In fact, I don't think I've done lights since I moved from California. So I have a lot of lights, but they're all inefficient. I need to get some new LEDs. The answer, of course, is actually whatever's the cheapest, but if I were choosing between colored lights and white lights and price was not an issue, dude, I'd go colored. And I prefer flashing to non-flashing. My favorite was a set of rice lights, which I think is what the LEDs look like now. I don't know. I haven't gone holiday shopping in a while. I'm a little scared to. And, you know, who needs to be out in this weather? I'm going to go home and I'm going to have a brandy. Does anybody really want to play Seattle or Indy in the first round of the playoffs now? Meaning the Seahawks or the Colts? No, I don't think Indianapolis is as good as you think they are. I would be a little scared of the Seahawks, if only because they've beaten the Packers. But I think the Packers probably have a chip on their shoulder, so I wouldn't mind the Packers seeing the Seahawks just to avenge that loss on their way to winning the Super Bowl, which is going to happen. I hope. My flag's upside down. I'm way over. Thanks for watching today. We'll do some more tomorrow. Okay. Stay warm and stay dry. And don't shovel if you don't have to. I highly recommend that. See ya.